Welcome everyone to Saturday Night Hype, and we have got 3 tremendous matches lined up for you here tonight. I am the Sentinel, as we kick things off with a matchup between 2 former tag partners, the Riddler and Aquaman. Now these two have a lot of history together, as the Riddler joined DC done caring back when that Ultra faction was still in power here in Colonial Impact Wrestling, as he betrayed the Greasy Green Gigolos in order to do so, and in doing so, was able to elongate the title reign of Duncaring to a record-breaking 780 days. A record that has not been broken since as far as CIW tag team titles are concerned. As a matter of fact, I believe that is one of the longest reigning championships, period, in CIW, but that title reign came to an end at the WrestleBration 11, where the Riddler teamed up with Aquaman to take on those same Greasy Green Gigolos, and the Greasy Green Gigolos ultimately pinned the Riddler and won the belt, ending that historic reign. Now, naturally, all of DC was pretty pissed off about that, and so there was a long time where all of 2025 was all about the DC implosion, Joker fighting Aquaman and Batman, and it was a whole thing that ultimately culminated in Joker versus Batman at the WrestleBration 12 this year. Meanwhile, the Riddler, who was kicked out of DC, ultimately regained and reformed his partnership with Ganondorf. They now go by Gnidler, but the Riddler is here by himself here tonight, as far as I know, taking on Aquaman, the 3-time Exceeds champion, who is still pissed, and still understandably so, even though the Aquaman was blamed very much so by the Joker and all of those around him for being the one who ultimately broke down DC because he helped Symbiote Spider-Man beat the Joker for the combined CIW Heavyweight Championship at WrestleBration 11. After the Joker left with the world's title for about a year and left DC, the faction, pretty high and dry, to where Aquaman became the de facto leader of the organization and carried it through another calendar year of its CIW Tag Team title reign, as well as an Exceeds Championship run of his own. The former 3-time Exceeds champion, one of the most prolific tag team wrestlers of his day, and arguably one of the staples of CIW, good, bad, or indifferent. I've had my differences with him myself. He's been a scumbag sometimes, but right now, he is looking to get a little bit of revenge for the man who caused it all to deteriorate in his eyes, in the Riddler. This is bound to be a hell of a confrontation between these two superhero and supervillain, as referee Jerry Greenfield is going to have to keep his wits about him here tonight. Here we go. As folks, we got a major 3-match card on the horizon here. We got a women's match coming up after this. Oh, what a splash! The Stingray splash right out of the gate from Aquaman. We got Wonder Woman versus the ambassador for the ladies division, Taya Gardner, coming up next. And then our big main event, it must come to an end between Mario and Strong Bad, tables, ladders, and chairs. A huge matchup to put that feud to bed as we continue on in the wake of Massacre, which was a tremendous 3-day weekend, and we now get a chance to start fresh and start anew as we get ready for the barbecue on the 4th of July. Cover 1, 2, and only 2, as Aquaman nearly snuck it from Riddler right there. As Riddler known to be deceptively slimy, but Aquaman knows a lot about slime. 1, 2, and only 2 again. Aquaman, incredibly fast, has got a pretty decent amount of power to his name, as all we've really seen the Riddler do is hump people against their will and cause problems for basically everyone he's been around. And oh, wait a second, what's Riddler doing here? Slingshot! And face first goes Aquaman. Oh, and as expected, here comes the reinforcements. Ganondorf now in the corner while he's in the ring, and thankfully did not get involved, but a Stingray splash from Aquaman. But now Aquaman has got to be careful, because a 300-pound plus Gerudo in Ganondorf is by the side. The top to Riddler's bottom has arrived here in CIW to start. Oh, wait a second. Might have, oh, look at this. What a cloverleaf here. As the lily pad crab, I think he's called that at one point. And will it be enough to get Riddler to tap out here? God, he's tangled like a pretzel. Aquaman with the major experience difference. And oh, wait a second, going up to the top, dangerous spot with Ganondorf lurking. What is Aquaman gonna do here? Oh my God! Went for, I believe he went for a shooting star press, and Riddler had gotten up just after. Oh, wait a second. How about another attempt here? Hurricanrana from the top. An Aqua Steiner for sure, and that's a working title. As the Curry Steiner, or we're working on that. We'll figure something out for that. We hardly ever see Aquaman do it. That's why I'm so flummoxed here right now. But a big body slam as Aquaman, even with Ganondorf lurking on the outside, has clearly taken control of this. Oh, La Maestro Cradle. 1, 2, and only 2 again. But Aquaman just teabagging. Riddler here has taken complete control, but started to get into it with Jerry Greenfield, and it nearly cost him. But able to counter the Riddler there, and a big standing sidekick out of the wrist lock position. Aquaman demonstrating very clearly why he is a 3-time Exceeds champion and a 1-time tag team champion. Oh, what is Aquaman doing now? Oh my God! What an incredible move there, as it was almost a neck breaker, sliced bread-esque. As this is where JOSHAGEDDON would really come in handy to have the official terminology for that. But Aquaman clearly showing and demonstrating innovative offense, and Batman taking a long time to get here to help Aquaman, but it's not like he needed the help. Oh, now I see what's going on. Aquaman now wanting to address Ganondorf. That's why Batman's here, because clearly this is bigger. Batman coming for some reinforcements, but Aquaman wanting to take care of the big problem that was the Gerudo on the outside, and is now starting to sharpshooter onto Riddler. Batman now on the outside, as the Riddler not looking good. Aquaman breaking up the count, as looks like the Justice Leaguers are making Ganidler pay, as this was meant to be just the one slice of justice that was meant for the Riddler, and probably Batman and Aquaman were going to move on after that. But Ganondorf rather sticking his big green nose into business it didn't belong in, because of the intriguing, I guess, the strange relationship that is the Riddler and Ganondorf. Enough that it actually silenced me for almost 3 whole seconds, which is saying something, ladies and gentlemen. And oh, and a nice over-the-top suplex there. Take a drink or a scoop of ice cream. But Riddler not feeling good at this particular juncture. But that little scuffle on the outside did seem to regain Riddler a little bit of advantage here, as Aquaman and the Riddler one-on-one to kick off Saturday Night Hype. Our big 3-match card. Of course, leading up to the Brawl BQ is going to be our next big show. We've got Battle City next week. And oh, in the front face lock here by the Riddler, trying to slow this match down, which is probably smart for the Riddler, because Aquaman's speed has definitely lent him a strong advantage in this matchup. And now I know I can hear the shots. Batman and Ganondorf have not been just on the other side of the ring from each other. I'm pretty positive they're in the middle of a big-time brawl that we have just not seen. But we've been able to hear it, folks. And now onto the outside, Aquaman vaulting Riddler out there, but he's got to be careful for Ganondorf's presence. Oh, and here they are. Oh, and now we're back to brawls, and this is starting to become a bigger affair than maybe we surmised to start with. And now slamming the Riddler's skull into the steel steps. And I told you that Batman and Aquaman are still pretty pissed off at the fact that the Riddler started all of this. Took the last piece of championship gold that DC had. That really, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, the Justice Leaguers, who were the original team to capture the belts, were also the team to defend it the most of all of the iterations of DC we had. Aquaman top rope and went for some sort of basement drop kick and just altered the trajectory to miss everyone. I'm assuming not on purpose. Aquaman trying to drop kick everything. Ganondorf just body slamming and slapping down Batman, as this has turned into a full-blown brawl. As referee Jerry Greenfield, the count is getting up to 4 or 5 here, and now slamming Ganondorf's arm into the ring post after a couple on his own. Aquaman going up to the top again onto a moonsault, and was just deflected. That moonsault was just swatted away by Ganondorf. God, he's big. And a nice drop toe hold into a headlock by Batman onto the Riddler. As these teams are just brawling on the outside. Somehow the count has been reset enough times, but it has been an intense affair. The matchup, folks, if you're just joining us, is Aquaman versus the Riddler. But both Ganondorf and Batman have found their way into their respective faction partners' corners, and it has turned into just non-stop brawls for the better part of a couple minutes here. As Batman is just slamming the skull repeatedly of the Riddler into those steel steps, and Aquaman tried to lift Ganondorf, and that was no doing on that exchange. And Aquaman just trying to get any kicks in he can, but Ganondorf just weathering all of them. And now getting back into the ring just in time, and nearly cost him. Now Aquaman up to the top again, elbow drop to Ganondorf, and Ganondorf again just sidestepped it. And every time Aquaman has tried to hit Ganondorf with a big maneuver, just the big bulk of the Gerudo has made its presence felt, and now some order being restored here. The two actual participants of the match back into the ring, as Ganondorf now grating Batman's head with his forearm, and now a nice headlock takeover there from behind by Aquaman. God, this has been a lot more chaotic than we figured Saturday Night Hype would start out being, and a heel kick, and that might be enough to put the Riddler away, as Riddler has been busted open, but Aquaman not allowing this to go down, and will not let Ganondorf get the advantage of his tag partner, and now just slamming the skull of Ganondorf into the barricade. And now back into the ring, Riddler is in a bad way here, is all out of sorts, and another heel kick, as I don't know how this could go much longer, and I don't know how much stamina the Riddler's got. Nice counter there, and went for another heel kick, albeit from behind. And now a nice counter there. Oh, and now into a Rana pin. Could be over. 1, 2, 3. Only 2, and I thought that was gonna do it. And an Insecurity. And every time that it has been Riddler and Aquaman in the ring, Aquaman has demonstrated a clear advantage. There, I think it's pretty obvious who the better wrestler is here tonight, although the reinforcements that Riddler brought with him have certainly made a difference. But if Aquaman can keep this in the ring, and now you see there's that little pain of Aquaman demonstrating itself. Aquaman up to the top rope. Wait a second. Whirlpool. He got the whirlpool to 450. 1, 2, 3. We have not seen him use that in a long time. But the tidal wave 450, we've seen the whirlpool a couple of times, but the tidal 450 getting the victory here tonight for Aquaman after a big ol' schmoz between Ganondorf, Batman, that man, the Riddler, and Aquaman. Your winner here tonight, but I get this sinking feeling, no pun intended, that this is far from over between these two teams, as what was supposed to be a little bit of a grudge has opened up a whole can of worms, and now we're gonna be fishing for revenge. But your winner, Aquaman, here tonight to kick off Saturday Night Hype. But we have got more on the horizon as we now move on to a ladies match. Wonder Woman versus Taya Gardner. Now this all began because Wonder Woman has had a very, 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 very bad attitude. And that's putting it lightly, with a lot of adverbs in the form of varies. But Wonder Woman, we saw at Massacre last week in a one-on-one match with Wii Fit Trainer that was supposed to be, that only happened because Wonder Woman hit Wii Fit Trainer with an Amazonian leg drop after losing an Ash Blossom Championship Tournament quarterfinal. They had a match at Massacre that this woman won, but she didn't win it by being the better woman. She won it by attacking the referee, using a steel chair to slam the edge of the steel chair into the throat of the Wii Fit Trainer, roll her back into the ring, and hit her with an Amazonian leg drop. And as a result of those heinous actions, Wii Fit Trainer is not only out of action for the next 6 to 8 months with a crushed larynx, but has also had no choice but to forfeit her spot in the Ash Blossom Championship semifinal, which will not be replaced. So we will have Marl and Ivy Valentine in a one-on-one match in that semifinal, but this woman, Wonder Woman, was the catalyst for all of that, putting the woman Wii Fit Trainer, who a lot of people have really seen the potential of and the future is bright of, well, not anymore, because Wonder Woman has put her on the shelf out of jealousy, out of fear, I'm not sure what. But on the other side of the equation is Taya Gardner, who was hired by Maximilian Pegasus to be the ambassador of the women's division, the ladies division, here in CIW, back when the CIW Council of Six expanded and our leadership group expanded in the middle of February. Taya Gardner had a one-on-one match with Marl in that same Ash Blossom quarterfinal, which was Taya Gardner's debut matchup, and she came up short. She made her attempt, but she came up short. And Taya Gardner now looking to have a victory somehow, some way, and what a victory it would be if she was able to take down Wonder Woman. But as you know, when you beat Wonder Woman, it has consequences because this woman's ego is terribly fragile. But what is Wonder Woman doing to start this off? And now, and oh no! And just chucking Taya Gardner over the top rope onto the floor, face first. God, that's arguably more heinous than we see a lot of fall-away slams to the outside, but very rarely do we see a woman or a man just toss their opponent over the top rope like that. That was vile. And Wonder Woman clearly happy with her choices here. And a bulldog coming around the corner, Baron Corbin slash Bishop Dyer-esque. Although not as quickly as Baron Corbin slash Bishop Dyer, but the situation might be dire for Taya Gardner here if she's not able to gain some sort of advantage. But right now, I mean, the size advantage, the experience advantage, all go to Wonder Woman, a former CIW Women's Champion. Taya Gardner, oh wait, now coming off the ropes with a clothesline as Taya Gardner was getting back into the ring, but so far, it has been all Wonder Woman to start this match off and went for another clothesline. But Wonder Woman, who has been hitting an exceptional amount of strikes all very quickly, needing to regain a little bit of her stamina here, and a big shot to the knee, taking the knee down as Taya Gardner with that big power of friendship, which I don't believe we saw in her first match against Marl. Might see it here tonight as, oh, wait a second, oh God. And now just egging on Taya Gardner is Wonder Woman in a knife-edge chop. As I want to believe that the ambassador of the ladies division can pull this victory out, but right now, what a power slam. But right now, it's really appearing as if Taya Gardner is not in Wonder Woman's class of wrestling. And, you know, I didn't think this would be the mismatch that it's appearing to be, as every time that Taya Gardner is trying to execute anything, Wonder Woman is right there to head her off. As you saw it right there with just a knee to the gut and a counter knee to the gut and a belly to belly. As Wonder Woman has been all over the ambassador of the ladies division. And it's got to be hard for Taya Gardner. You know, she wants to prove, kind of like the Paradox brothers tried to prove, that they're good at their jobs. You know, that not only are they overseeing the division, but they're also actually adequate athletes. And I want to believe that Taya Gardner's the same, and I know that she wants to prove that she's the same. And going 0-2 in her first two matches is definitely not going to be a good look. But I don't know if Taya Gardner has got the skill right now with the way that Wonder Woman has been just all over her. Dear God. And look at these right hands. Has been all over Taya Gardner. This has been almost hard to watch. And and there's the Amazonian leg drop right then and there as Taya Gardner is down. This has been all Wonder Woman, completely start to finish, and now just letting Taya Gardner get back up, not even going for the cover. And if there is no better representation of the attitude that Wonder Woman has gotten in the wake of this whole debacle with the Wii Fit trainer, and now getting Wonder Woman into the corner, and oh, what a big right hand. And that right hand had some stank on it, and that's what Taya Gardner's gonna do, or gonna have to do if she wants to win this. But I'm not sure if Wonder Woman is the right person to attempt to outpunch, as her strikes are devastating, her submissions are devastating. You know, you see that lasso whip right there, submission that she's used a couple of times, and oh no. And we saw this is what ultimately crushed the larynx of Wii Fit Trainer, albeit there hasn't been as much damage inflicted, but it's still the second Amazonian leg drop, square in the center of the ring. Taya Gardner is down. Wonder Woman has, oh no, not again. Come on, this is enough. This is too much, Wonder Woman. You have the match won. You had the match won. There's no need for a third Amazonian leg drop. And now going for the cover here. That's gotta be it. 1, 2, 3. And it's hard to tell if Taya Gardner is athletically sound or not, because she didn't even get a chance to prove it here tonight, as Wonder Woman just completely dominates the ambassador of the ladies division, Taya Gardner. As I hope you're proud, Wonder Woman. You can tell she is. You can tell that she's proud of her actions. She's not sorry for what she did to Wii Fit Trainer. She's happy she put Wii Fit Trainer on the shelf, considered her weak, and now she's going to further prove it here against this woman, Taya Gardner, your winner, Wonder Woman. And I'm just disgusted, Diana, because you were better than this. We all thought you were better than this. I was rooting for you. We all were rooting for you. I'm getting all Tyra Banks on you. That's how bad this has gotten. But now we move on to the main event. From a bad attitude to strong bad versus Mario in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. It comes to an end here tonight. This all began on a matchup of Saturday Night Hype between these two. That was a hell of a contest that ultimately Strong Bad ended up winning one-on-one with a pinfall and the senior card gauge chop. Mario ultimately couldn't let that go, as Strong Bad was entered into a 6-man #1 contenders battle royal for the Exceeds Championship a couple of weeks later on Saturday Night Hype. And Mario, as Strong Bad was making his entrance on this very stage, Mario attacked Strong Bad with a steel chair, threw him into the bar. They continued brawling after that and ultimately put Strong Bad out of action that night and took his spot in that Exceeds Championship Battle Royal where he was unsuccessful. These two ultimately were scheduled to have a tables match upon Mario's request that they had a tables match in their rematch because Strong Bad wanted revenge and Mario wanted furniture. And Mario got his wish and ultimately won that tables match at Massacre Drummer's Call just 2 short weeks ago. And now it has come to this, where there will be tables, there will be ladders, there will be chairs, but the only way to win is pinfall or submission. This is not going to be pretty, folks, but these two are going to beat the holy hell out of each other. We must find out who the better man is, because Strong Bad still believes that he has not lost to Mario, and to some degree he's right. He has not had his shoulders to the mat for the count of 3 against Mario. And Mario is always he's always enjoyed, and he's had a fad for and a fascination with winning with underhanded tactics and means that are not necessarily putting one's shoulders to the mat for a definitive 3 count. And he's tried to claim that he is so respected and so valued as the marquee franchise name of Nintendo. He actually said to me the other day, "I am Nintendo," which I very much disagree with. But because there's a lot of intellectual property that would argue otherwise, and considering how people viewed the Super Mario Galaxy movie compared to the first one, where it really was kind of the Super Luigi movie because Luigi was the only one who cared and he was kind of crucial to the whole plot of what little plot there was in that movie. But Mario trying to ride a victory lap he hasn't earned, but can he earn it here tonight? It is tables, ladders, chairs, no countouts, no disqualifications, and the only way to win, as I mentioned before, pinfall or submission in the ring. It's gonna be heinous, it's gonna be vile, it's going to be brutal, it's gonna be mayhem against two guys who I didn't know were gonna have a beef with each other when this all started, but it has become such a vitriol-fueled rivalry between these two because Mario couldn't let it go and cost Strong Bad a chance at championship gold. Something that Mario has never been able to obtain here in CIW. We've said it till Kingdom Come that he's a 2-time Lightning Weight champion, but what have you done lately? The Dallas Cowboys of Colonial Impact Wrestling, Mario, going up against Strong Bad in this tables, ladders, and chairs match. This is your main event of Saturday Night Hype. We will see you for Battle City next week, but here we go. And it's on, and immediately went for a run and a big back body drop, countered by Strong Bad. These two are going to have now a low blow, a big low blow from Strong Bad, or onto Strong Bad, and now the furniture has begun. Sometimes it's about sending a message, and if the low blow didn't send a message, the consecutive ladder strikes certainly did, as Mario not pulling any punches here in the early going with this very hot start. Oh no, not already! Warp Pipe! Not before, it's the half for to win! 1, 2, 3, only 2. I would have lost my fucking mind if Mario had won with a Warp Pipe within 30 seconds of this matchup starting. Tried to get the quickest pin he possibly could. Unbelievable. On this guy, this is how urgent he feels this is, and it makes me wonder whether he feels like he can beat Strong Bad the longer this matchup goes, and a big boot. but it's not like these matches have been short affairs between these two up to now, and getting a barbed wire 2x4 and just leaving it in the ring. And probably going to get back to that later, because I doubt that, I mean, again, pinfalls can only occur in the ring. So anything they do on the outside, it's all damage inflicting. It's all for the sake of inflicting punishment, which is necessary. And a big arm drag there after slamming Strong Bad's head into the ring post. Referee Jerry Greenfield has really got to be careful. And folks, if he goes down by an errant shot, which is easy to do, there's only one way that you can help make sure that his medical bills are paid in full without any debt or MERP laws coming to take his house. You gotta like, you gotta share, you gotta subscribe, you gotta switch that bell button to all, so that every time we post, you know to hashtag save a referee today. And folks, I do want to just provide you a quick update. We did a poll at the beginning of this week regarding our pay-per-view formats as far as like our big shows like Massacre. And based on the votes that we acquired, and thank you all for voting, as far as just gauging what our format is, we are not going to change anything. We weren't really planning to change anything. Our format will remain 3 nights, 4 matches apiece, around an hour, maybe 90 minutes tops if something goes particularly long. But we are not making any changes to the format. But thank you all for participating in the vote. We love having your voices be heard so that we know the best way to provide you the content that we give you every single week. As these two have been just brawling. I missed the chair shot, there was a Russian leg sweep, and now a counter here into a sweeping DDT. As there's a ladder set up in the middle of the ring, there's a table on the outside. This is getting, you can tell that it's almost like a bull in a china shop, and you're just waiting for him to touch the first piece of glass. That first piece of porcelain that horn touches, and then everything just shatters, and now just stomping. Walking over Mario, and now a cover. 1, 2, and only 2. What a disrespectful pin. But you know what? Strong Bad is only doing what Mario has shown him. You know, there's an old expression, you gotta give respect to get respect, and Mario has shown no respect. As Strong Bad, not a big fan of Rodney Dangerfield. I tried to do the bit with him and he just didn't get it. But he wanted the respect, and now he's showing Mario the respect that he has given him. And now barbed wire 2x4 onto the spine as Strong Bad went up the ladder, but it didn't quite get there. And now, oh God, and now barbed wire right into the skull and into the mask, grating the mask. And I have to imagine that still hurts. I mean, all those spikes of the barbed wire still have to penetrate the flesh of Strong Bad. Thankfully, Strong Bad is not in AAA. Doesn't have to deal with mask versus mask matches, because we're not going to do that to him. Oh, wait a minute, Mario. Mario dropped toe hold into the table, but it didn't break. But boy, and I thought it was gonna there. But I don't think he got enough momentum to really project the body all the way through that wood. As folks, we don't pre-cut our tables. You know, if they're going through tables, they are going through the table. You know, if it's gonna happen, Corleone doesn't let, oh, wait a second, Strong Bad, oh my God! A catapult slingshot through the table that turned Mario inside out and flipped him upside down. God, now that was some momentum. That was the momentum that was sorely needed. And oh wait, where's Strong Bad going? And Strong Bad putting the ladder up on the ramp. And I guess he's just trying to get it out of the equation here, trying to eliminate extra heights. As I don't think Strong Bad is a fan of heights now that I'm thinking about it, as he kind of lets the cheat do that, as if there's any heights to be had. But oh, and now Mario with a poison rana cover here, could steal it, could get it 1, 2, and only 2, as that was close though. As this is another time that Mario has tried to exhibit a sense of urgency, and what a Hurricanrana counter! With a crucifix head scissors right there, what an impressive maneuver there by Mario. And Mario, oh, now we're going up for a Rana pin, 1, 2, but only 2. As Mario, deceptively fast. You know, I can never deny his athleticism. He might have a terrible personality. He might feel that he's entitled to more than he ever has been in CIW, but his athleticism cannot be denied. The problem is you never want to give him the credit for his athleticism, because the way that he uses it, it's kind of like the way Shawn Michaels weaponized how good his wrestling was to gain advantage politically. The only downside is Mario can't back it up with pinfalls in the ring, and that has always been his problem in CIW. Strong Bad top rope and just making clearing the gap, and it was maybe trying to stop Mario's head and didn't quite get there. As Mario is definitely feeling the effects of Strong Bad's brawls here, and now going to the ramp, and oh, wait a second, now throwing Mario on the ramp. Oh, wait a second, not onto the floor. Now that ramp is concrete, folks. We have blacktop around the ring and concrete on the ramp. Wait a second, and oh no! A DDT through the table onto the concrete ramp. And Mario might be concussed. We're gonna need EMTs after this matchup to be sure. As referee Jerry Greenfield looking on safely from a safe distance in the ring. As, God, this is brutal. Using all of every hard surface possible to inflict as much damage as possible. A fireman's carry from Mario, who is holding his head, understandably so. But I have no idea who's gonna come out of this the winner. These two brawling out here on the ramp. The only way to win is pin or submission here in this tables, ladders, and chairs match to close out Saturday Night Hype! Here tonight, our main event. These two bitter rivals. And now Strong Bad going up to the top, and I don't think if he jumps off, I don't think he's gonna make it to Mario. Yeah, you gotta check your depth perception here. And and he just checking the wind with his hand to make sure there was not a breeze that was going to alter the trajectory of his dive. Making sure that he factored in the Coriolis effect. Now, wait a second. Oh no, Soup Bones on the ladder on the ramp. That can't be good. Falling 10 feet down onto this concrete ramp is gonna hurt a lot. Oh God, no. Strong Bad, and oh God, no. A superplex onto the ramp from the ladder. As every bone in Mario's body could be broken. God, that made my back hurt, and I'm just sitting here at the booth. And a low blow with what little appendages Mario has ambulatory use of left. Message sent. And now Mario, what's Mario grabbing? Oh no, not a sledgehammer. Oh, and he went to sledgehammer the skull of Strong Bad on the ramp, or at least Strong Bad's head was right there on the apron, and I think Strong Bad got in the ring before Mario was able to execute whatever he was trying to do. And a crushing skull blow to the skull that might not have just ended the match, but might have. Oh no! Jerry, no! And now a coccyx crusher! The tailbone being shattered into a million pieces by Mario. How are you able to stand, Strong Bad? Jerry Greenfield is down. Hashtag save a referee today. God, I'm sure Jerry wishes he was back making ice cream right about now. Now Mario grabbing that ladder and bringing it back into the ring over the prone body of Jerry Greenfield, and somehow Jerry is back up, but not easily. Not easily, that is for sure. Oh, and now Mario up to the top, and oh, what a corkscrew! And landed right on the head of Strong Bad. What an excellent trajectory there by Mario. Boy, these two giving it all that they have here tonight. We saw a warp pipe within the first minute of action, but we have not seen a finisher since. We have yet to see the senior card gauge chop. We have yet to see another warp pipe. These two have just instead been inflicting as much punishment as they have been able to on each other, in a rolling senton there by Strong Bad. This is getting brutal. More and more, these two inflicting punishment, giving it all they've got, here in the name of victory in Colonial Impact Wrestling. A bitter rivalry comes to an end here tonight, and a big chop with the boxing glove. And Strong Bad has always asked how he's able to type with boxing gloves on. And Strong Bad has made sure to answer that and address that. Actually, that was the first thing he addressed as in his very first email. And you know what? Strong Bad would not be a bad guy to have as our, like, social media correspondent, or, you know, because Abizzle, he's busy and he's sending emails all the time, or he should be sending emails all the time to the talent as head of talent relations, but, you know, Strong Bad, he might be better suited because he's done all those emails all the time. Oh God! And now just slamming the head into the whole body into the ladder. Roll up 1, 2, and only 2, and a sunset flip almost did it after slamming Strong Bad's head and face and rest of the body into that ladder that is propped up on the turnbuckle. Oh no, not again! Oh, but backwards this time! The back of the skull! Dear God, this is just brutal. Absolutely. Oh no, what's Mario doing now? And a slingshot! And the ladder landed on Strong Bad. And there a little bit of payment for what happened with the table of just several minutes ago when Mario was upended in that same corner, getting folded into the table. God, what a brutal, brutal affair between these two. And we're not done. We still have to have a winner here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And now Strong Bad tried to take the table from Mario and just threw it as hard as he could into the body of Strong Bad. And oh, wait a second. Warp pipe. Oh no, not into the edge of the ladder. We could cover here. 1, 2, then only 2. My voice squeaked in shock as Strong Bad's skull just hit the back end of that ladder on the warp pipe. Oh, and now Rana Pin. 1, 2, and oh, how is Strong Bad kicking out of all of this? Schoolboy, 1, 2, and only 2. Who is gonna win this thing? Oh, wait a second. Senior Cord Gauge chop, and he got all of it. But you could go for the cover, Strong Bad. That could end it. And now dragging him into the center of the ring. And Mario just, it took too long to get back up. And I think that ladder shot to the back of the head on that warp pipe might have really done some damage to Strong Bad, who is now bleeding through the mask, mind you. And that's where all that barbed wire shots earlier came into play. Another poison Rana Pin, and his head again hits the ladder. 1, 2, and only 2 again. How is he doing this? How are either of these two doing this? And now, and a low blow. But the head of Mario, his head's got to be damaged. He's concussed, he's worn out. Both of these guys are as spent as you possibly could be. Oh, and now trying to bring another table in is Mario. And this time, countering it is Strong Bad. As Strong Bad and Mario, both of these men using everything. There have been tables, there's been ladders, there's been chairs. Oh my, indeed. As this has been one of the damnedest TLC matches I have ever seen in CIW between these two men. And now going for another shot with the table. But every shot that Mario takes is like his last ounce of strength. As both of these two are getting gassed now as we are heading into almost 20 minutes of action here between these two. This has been absolutely insane between these two men, slamming the skull of Strong Bad, and that again being all that Mario had. And now just throwing Mario onto the table and an arm drag. As you can tell, both of these guys are getting real tired. As there's not a whole lot left in the tank, but there's got to be a winner. And they are giving themselves everything. Wait a second, what the hell? And just slamming the skull into and again, Mario falls. God, and I'm gonna make sure that we have got our medical teams basically at gorilla position to check on both of these men. These two's careers will never be the same after tonight. That is a fact. After these two have beaten each other up so badly. I mean, we had a ladder suplex onto the ramp. There was so much. The tables, the throwing through the table, the shots to the ladder, multiple tables have been shattered, brain-shattering shots onto the ladders, onto tables, onto chairs, barbed wire, sledgehammers. And yet, these two men, somehow, with the will to win, with the spirit of competition in CI. Oh no! Why, Mario? As Strong Bad and Jerry is down again. As Jerry, and that might not be as easy to recover from as the first one. Jerry Greenfield is down, save a referee, and now Soup Bones. Top of the ladder, Soup Bones. how these two, and you can feel it, it's coming to a head, ladies and gentlemen. And now Mario won it, tosses Strong Bad off. Wait a second. Oh my God! What a shooting star off the ladder! But Jerry is down. Jerry Greenfield is down. Mario with the cover. He's back up 1, 2, 3. What a finish. I don't like Mario one bit, but what a match between these two. It took, after a giant ladder shot that knocked the referee down, soup bones on top of the ladder, and a shooting star press from top of the ladder down to Strong Bad that did it so much that it took 5 solid seconds for Jerry to get up and make the count, and it didn't matter. Your winner, Mario. What a TLC match. Thank you all for coming to Saturday Night Hype, and we will see you next week for Battle City.